All right, so last time we finished up the first chapter in Greenest, scared off the dragon, saw some of the leaders, although they're still somewhat mysterious, of the Cult of the Dragon, got a little bit of information out of a prisoner that Nighthill had interrogated, and all of that should be in a handout if you need to remember any of that. And in the morning, Nighthill approached you and asked you, offered you 250 gold to track the raiders and discover the location of their camp, how many there were, who their leaders were, why they were doing the raids, and offered you 250 gold to go gather information. And then a monk bearing a necklace of the Harpers, and who you came to find out was a companion of the gnome that you found in the woods outside of Greenest on your first night, told you that his master, Leosin, was either captured or had tried to infiltrate, he didn't know which, the Cult of the Dragon, and he fears he's been captured, but he is the utmost authority on the Cult of the Dragon. So if you can find him and or rescue him if he's still alive, that would be a great benefit to figuring out what the Cult of the Dragon is up to. So the scouts that kind of watched the raiders retreat told you that they went off to the south over the grasslands of Greenest. And before you leave, there are plenty of kind of mundane supplies in the keep. If any of you need to buy anything, you should be able to buy anything you need before you leave, and then head out and look for the trail. So what do y'all do?
Well, I need some more bolts. I'm down to 10.
Okay.
So I would definitely... Wait, we didn't get any, money, did we? Oh, wait. Yeah, we did. I just forsook mine.
I don't remember getting any money.
Yeah, you don't.
Or did we not?
You haven't been paid yet, but you have found some money from your from looting some of the bodies. I think that Ander took it because we didn't feel like splitting it right then. But for your,
That's right. I do have it.
But also for your services, he offers you guys anything. Like, he doesn't have, because all the wounded, he doesn't have any healing potions. But if you need arrows, bolts, what do they call those things? Like a medical kit or any stuff like that, he'll just give you, anything that he has.
Perfect. I'm gonna take 30 bolts.
Sounds good.
Does he happen to have any flasks of dragon fire?
I don't believe he has any flasks of dragon fire.
Which, that I mean, there's an hold on, let me see.
Like brandy or something? Yeah, they're pretty well out of potions and alchemical type ingredients. At least that would benefit, healing, because there's so many wounded in there. And Escobert the Red still has his arm off and is being attended to, but he's kind of arguing with Nighthill, and Nighthill still seems very shaken by the whole events of the evening, and Cuth Swift has kind of also stepped up and is trying to convince Nighthill. They're all just kind of talking in hushed tones over in the corner.
So when I meant dragon's fire, I meant alchemist fire.
Yeah, he's not gonna have any of that.
It's common stuff. Sad face. Okay.
Yeah, you might be able to find an alchemist in town. There is an alchemist in town, and go by there and see if he was raided too bad to the point that he still doesn't have anything.
I'm good to go.
Okay.
I'm just gonna refill my water skin and ration kit.
Oh yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Oh, I'm gonna ditch this armor that I picked up earlier. No, I'm not. I changed my mind.
All right, so you all kind of refill on rations and water, and head out to the area that he kind of pointed out is to the south. It's real easy to find. It's very obvious. There are tons of people walking in this general direction. There's kind of a wide swath of pushed down grass. As you get to the outskirts of town, the grass, things get pretty wild. It's still a plain, but the grass is probably between 2 and 5 feet tall. But there's a pretty wide swath where it's all matted down, and the path is pretty easy to follow even without any tracking knowledge or anything.
Let us go.
All right, so you all kind of follow the path, and you walk probably about 5 or 10 miles. You set out fairly early in the morning. Well, let's see. The battle ended. You all went to sleep probably around 4 in the morning. So to get a long rest, you probably got up sometime around noon. So it's actually afternoon now. It's 1. And somewhere probably around 2:30 in the afternoon, you notice that the flat plains turn to hills that slowly turn into kind of more rocky areas mixed with the grassland. There's some kind of semi sort of foothills, nothing major, but the terrain does turn somewhat rocky. And off in the distance, about a mile or so, you see a single plume of smoke, as if from a fire, going up into the sky.
Where were we headed again? I'm sorry, I wasn't here last session, so.
Right. He wants you to find the raiders' camp. So all the raiders left Greenest and started to head towards the south. Some of the scouts, some of the people in Greenest just kind of saw the direction they were going, but nobody really followed them. So your job is just to go figure out basically what they're up to, find where their camp is and how many of them there are and their leaders, and just scout it out as best you can through whatever means necessary. The little shield is on Greenest, but the path leads slightly south of Greenest, so you guys are probably somewhere right around where the shield is at. And you see the smoke.
I was a little confused.
Yeah, sorry. You see this, sweet pits. You see the smoke just kind of rising up over the horizon there as the rain starts to turn rocky. And as you approach even further, if anybody wants to stop or do anything or scout ahead. I guess I should figure out what your marching order is. Are you guys just walking shoulder to shoulder down this path, or what?
Andrew will probably not be in the lead.
Better not
but,
be.
Before we set out, Warland's going to look at it around everybody and say, so, are any of you proficient in finding people in the forest? Because, I've been in a lot of travels, but not very good at finding people. I'm good at taking things from people, but not finding them. Anybody?
No, little one.
I'm not too bad in the woods.
I can help. I mean, I lived in the woods for most of my life.
So do you want to lead us on?
Sure.
Warland looks at you and says, I think that's a good idea. Why don't you lead the way? You can tell the difference between a footprint and not a footprint, right?
Yeah, totally.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So Yalara takes the lead, and I mean, still at this point, you know, it looks like dozens, if not scores, of people have walked through and trampled this grass down. So anybody could really follow this trail, at this point at least.
I'll follow behind Yalara in like a staggered column. If anybody knows what that is.
And I will follow. I'll be third in line.
Do you want to bring up the back, Gore, or do you want Julian
Yeah,
too?
sure.
Okay, so Julian's second to last. All right, so Yalara, being kind of out in front, you notice this smoke kind of curling. It's clearly campfire smoke. You've made enough fires in your life, or maybe you haven't as a druid. Do you hold sacred the nature? Do you know you don't try and burn wood and those kinds of things?
No, not really. I mean, all my life I've just understood that life happens and things live and things die. And when it comes to plants and things, especially for our purposes, it's all good.
Cool. So you clearly recognize this as campfire smoke, or possibly cooking fire smoke. It's not huge, and you can tell it's slightly around a bend. It's coming from slightly around a bend, where the path, there's kind of a hill, and the path kind of curves around. You can see pretty clearly about 50 yards in front of you, and the smoke is kind of coming from behind that hill, and you all can see it. Yalara is just the first one to see it. What do you do?
Okay. All right, everybody, do you see that up ahead? How do y'all want to move forward?
How far away do you think it is?
I forget.
It was
Did you say?
the bend in the road, or the bend in the path, is probably around 50 yards ahead of you, so
Okay.
fairly
I'm
close. But if you yell or something, they would, whoever it is,
I thought it was
probably
further
hear you.
than that.
I mean, if you all want to do something before you get that close, you certainly can.
Well, I mean, don't want to waste it super early, but I mean, I can sneak up as a little critter and see what's going on. But Warlin, you're pretty sneaky.
Quick. They don't call me Quickfoot for nothing.
Warlin, why don't you see if you can see what you can see? Said see 4 times.
Okay, I'm gonna go see what I can go see. I'll see y'all later. Bye. Warlin skips off and starts walking towards the. He's trying to decide his approach. Is there any trees or anything that I could use to conceal myself, like gullies or washes, arroyos?
There
I just
are
didn't totally give away. I live in the Southwest.
there are some kind of small boulders starting to kind of be found around. The grass is still relatively tall. There's scrub brush, all over the place. There's plenty of stuff for you to hide behind.
So what you're saying, my 2'5" self is easily concealed.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
And
All right, so I'm going to sneak up and take a look. I'm not going to get, I'm using extreme caution. I don't want to give away that I'm there. So if I need to go further out, if I need to go 30 yards out, and then 15 if I can't see anything, then that's the plan.
okay. So go ahead and roll a perception check. Let's say you move up, Okay, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I was talking just to Warland. Yeah, so you hear the sounds of what sounds like semi-angry squabbling in some inhuman voice, like, and then there's also some kind of lower undertones of that. You can't make out what they're saying, but they're clearly human voices. It's just like, yeah,
I'd like to get a little closer so I can make out the
okay.
voices.
Go ahead and make a stealth check. Oh, you already did. Yeah, succeed. Now let's see. You see. So are you approaching? Are you staying on? But there's basically still a path of matted down grass that you can walk through, and it kind of that goes around this bend. Or you could kind of go out into the field, area and walk through. There's still,
Yeah, I'm definitely not walking on the tracked. Hold on, son. I'm definitely not walking on the traveled road. I'm sticking to the tall grass that would be would conceal me.
Okay.
If they see movement, I would suspect it would be like portray it as the wind blowing.
Okay. So on your left, there's kind of a rise. There's kind of a hill that goes off away from the main path that you're on, and you can see that there's just bushes and different boulders and stuff. And you get kind of to the edge of where the hill is. And you can see that.
Okay. I'm gonna stick around and look for maybe. Did I move close enough so that I can hear the voices?
Yeah, they're just you can hear that the inhuman voices. These guys right here are just talking about food and who gets what piece of kind of what they're looking at, and then over here, these guys, the human voices, are just kind of muttering about these stinking kobolds. I don't know why we keep using them. I guess they make good make good frontline fodder, and they're just kind of complaining about the kobolds. You can see that kind of right here is some scraggly kind of scrub tree branch root looking thing, and there's boulders all over, and the little depression is
So where
probably
did that
only
come
about
from?
You see where your token is?
No. Oh, I do now.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Are we supposed to see this also?
no, are you seeing it?
Yep.
Okay. Well,
Yes, we are.
okay. See, I want to know how to
Enable force line of sight.
I want to put, huh? Well, there's no line of
Fail,
sight
bro.
or anything on this. It's just an open map. But
Yeah, no, but you still have to check it, because that way it disables us from being able to see since we're not there.
oh, so I thought
Well,
if your
actually,
tokens.
I think the way it works is the GM page up there. Like you can drag a token to that specific page, and only that token. will be
Oh,
on that
okay.
page.
Yeah, I was wondering how to get one person on a map without everybody. So did it all go?
There's a way to do it.
Did it go away for everybody but Warland now?
No, I still see.
Okay, I
still have it.
I enabled line of sight. That's okay. It's not really a huge deal, but I will remember that for next time. So, anyways, the party, that this path, this kind of worn path, the party is off to the north area of the path in the direction that arrow's pointing. They're kind of back there, about 50 yards or so. And then you can see that this is just kind of a little hollow area, and the path keeps going further to the south. And they're just kind of squabbling over food. The humans are cooking their food, and the kobolds are kind of squabbling over this weird piece of meat. Let's see. I'm gonna save this for later.
Okay. I'm gonna watch for 30 seconds to a minute, and then I'm gonna sneak out of there to go tell the party.
Okay. Yeah, the humans are still just cooking. The kobolds kind of finally divvy up their food and settle down a little ways away from the humans. So they'll move over to here. And they sit down and kind of start eating. But they're so preoccupied, and you're back far enough and small enough that and you rolled plenty well on your stealth check, no one notices you whatsoever.
Okay. And when I get back to the party, Warland comes casually strolling up to the party and says, gets there and goes, "Well, I went to go see what I could see, and I seen stuff."
And what did you see exactly?
What did I see is the question everybody wants to know. Well, I seen... what did I see? I guess I seen a whole bunch of cobalt dragon kin, I guess. Is cobalt, right? Anyways, I'm pretty sure these are the raiders. They're all decked out in battle gear. It looks like they just are getting ready to break for dinner. So we might be able to catch them by surprise. The kobolds seem to be managed by 4 humans or humanoid type people. I'm not quite sure if they're humans, but I'm pretty sure they're humans because they were they're like your size, I think. And they were really complaining
All the
a lot.
raiders? How many are there?
Oh, how many were those there? 3. There was that one over there. There's 4 of them. And they were sitting there complaining about the kobolds. Mm-hmm. It would be a very hard fight.
Are these ones from the town, or are these just happen to be kobolds in passing?
Would I have seen these raiders before to make that judgment call there, Ryan?
Yeah, you can tell that they do look very similar. They were 2 of them were wearing kind of bandity clothes and like the same kind of mercenary, normal adventurer type looking people that you saw before. But you did see, and I should have mentioned this, you did see 2 of them changing, kind of putting over their kind of leather armor, these gray robes, similar to the gray robes, in fact, exactly like the gray robes that you saw on the guys that had the purple armband, only these guys didn't have a purple armband. They're just putting on a kind of gray robe, and it's got a 5-pointed star on the back of it. 2 of them put that on because they weren't cooking. The other 2 were busy cooking, but they had their packs next to them. So you have seen these robes before. They definitely had
their ski masks on.
Yeah.
They had ski masks on because that's what bandits wear, right? Zoom over your guy's head. Yeah, you got that.
We got it. It just wasn't funny.
No. I meant the... was too funny.
It was.
Yeah. There you go, Mark. That's the answer to your question. I think they are these bandits, yes, from town. I
believe I will have to
sneak
ask
up on
Bahamut.
Do you think we should split up?
So before we do anything, we should probably consult with Bahamut to make sure that this is the type of justice I believe you are intending to impose upon them. So Andrew's going to kind of go quiet and sit down.
Okay.
And start praying.
The Warland digs through his chest and pulls out his Bahamut and thinks, Bahamut, we're going to do some things. Cool, thanks, brah. And he sets it down. He says, anyways, Bahamut man over there might have a hard time sneaking up on these guys, but the brush
I'm in medium armor.
The brush is pretty tall, and I think we can sneak up on them and possibly ambush them since they're pretty well distracted with dinner. I didn't see any scouts, but the brush is tall. Like I can barely see over it.
As I'm praying to Bahamut, am I hearing anything, or am I just praying to pray? Want to know. Or should I make a check?
No, you don't need to make a check.
Okay. Well, Ender is going to choose to believe Warlin and go along with the surprise ambush attack that we'd like to do. Okay. Ender will look up to the rest of the party. Justice must be served on these individuals. We must do what we must.
Do we want to leave even one of them alive to find out anything? Or should we just take everybody out?
Kill them all.
I think
Justice must be served.
One of the humans alive.
What would you say, Warren?
That's not very. I think it would be a good idea so we can find out more information about this group. But if these guys are anything like the other guys that we found on our way to Blue Gray, to that place, Greenest, then he might take his own life, and yes, justice will be served.
Just as a reminder, just the prisoner that Nighthill took did reveal the information that the guys with the purple armbands are higher up and very devout and are trying to work towards becoming officers in the cult. And those are the only guys that you've tried to question so far. Those are the guys that take their own life. The other regular guys are the guys that Nighthill got to talk.
Okay, well, is everybody okay with trying to capture one of them?
I suggest if we capture any of them, we should capture a human before dispensing justice on it.
All right. Well, let's go.
All right, so how do you guys want to approach?
I will attempt a stealth check, but I'm in scale mail, so I actually probably should up my armor because now I'm supposedly proficient in heavy armor. But we'll go with this for now.
Yeah, Lara walks off. Do we have any ranged weapons? Maybe to shoot them?
I do.
I do. I have my trusty light crossbow. However, didn't you mention that they were down in a little pit?
Yes, but perhaps you can sneak up. They're not really paying attention.
It's only about 15 feet deep, too.
There's only 4. Besides, I prefer hand-to-hand combat.
4 plus the other 8 kobolds, big man. I know you're
kobolds?
The kobolds that I told you were at the camp. Did you not listen to what I had to say?
Fine, we'll kill those too.
I know I'm a little short, but I'm pretty sure my voice does not get that wispy, that high.
No, it doesn't.
Let's kill them.
Perhaps I seen
Let's dispense
a tree.
justice.
I snuck up. Wait, one. Bahamut does not agree that you be so vengeful and prideful that you don't know about what you're going to do. Am I correct?
How would you know what Bahamut wants from me? You know nothing, little man.
A follower of Bahamut would be ill-advised to judge another for their religion. As you can see, I'm a follower of many religions. Just because my short stature does not mean I have views.
And just because I was kicked out of his court does not mean that I still do not practice and praise him everywhere I go.
Drop this religious blabber. Let's go.
I agree. So perhaps the loud one here, as he looks over at the priest or the paladin, he can sneak up where I did. There's a tree, and maybe he can get within range of his crossbow. And Yalara, I believe there is another fell tree on the other side that I seen that you could possibly get close enough. However, it's kind of dangerous because it's the closest to the human, if I recall. You can sneak up over there and get eyes on the kobolds, which I think we should target first.
Sounds good.
And then maybe Gore, you can go with Yalara to protect her.
In the drawer.
Does that sound like a plan?
Mm-hmm. I'm in.
Whatever it takes.
And if it gets too dangerous, let's. Warland looks around, and is there any like good hiding places that I can see from here, like depressions or trees or anything that we can hide from these people in? Everybody can hide in.
I'm pointing
When you were up on the little rocky rise, I mean, you saw some, decent sized trees and bushes kind of all around. There's some boulders too that you could hide behind.
Okay.
But there's no cave or anything.
If things go south, then I seen some trees just off in the distance, and I point towards them so everybody can see. We'll meet up there to, if we need to run away.
So you all are coming in you were on the north side of the path, so you can just kind of, move your tokens to where you want them to end up, and also everybody make an individual stealth check. All right. All right.
Oh, are we supposed to move now?
Yeah, go ahead and put your people where you kind of wanted them to end up. Let's see. I'm not sure what Julianne is doing.
Julian will be preparing to make kobold kebab.
Right. Rusty kitchen skewer is the only thing. Okay, so that's ranged. Okay. So now, if I understood correctly, the plan was for you guys to split up. One of the, some of the group to be over here, and some of the group to be over here. Is that wrong?
I thought we were gonna be. I thought this was it right here. We
My
were gonna
plan
be.
was
Because I was gonna be able
this
to
is
try
what I
to
thought.
stay where I could take a pop shot. But if we're all by that tree,
Right. That's not Yalara and
Andrew just
Laura
doesn't
over
want to
here.
give away everybody's position because he knows
And
he's
Andrew
not
was over
very
here.
quiet.
Oh, so we need to go farther.
I thought Yalara and Gore were going to kind of end up over here by this fallen tree. I'm just trying to determine
Okay.
whether I need you guys to do a party check if you're all together or individual, if the stealth checks are going to be individual and they can hear some of you and not all of you. So,
Well, what was the original plan that Warland wanted to do?
it was for...
I think it was.
So where I just moved Julie into is,
Hey, hon, can you grab me a Band-Aid?
is the area that I thought Gore and Yalara were going to.
May not be, talking over the table, but I am in the middle of something else.
All right. Well,
Basically,
Okay,
Yalara
so
and
do we need to go
Gore
back
over here.
and then make our way, like, this way? Like, go that way?
Yeah, go around to the north and then over by the fallen tree over here.
But I thought we can't
Yeah,
go very
you can
far.
sneak around any direction.
Yeah, you can go any direction.
Well, you gotta picture that where we can come around from any direction, basically.
yeah, your
I
movement
thought we
speed.
could only move like 30 feet at a time.
Combat hasn't technically started yet, so you're just preparing, so you don't have movement restriction. The 30 feet is just how far you could move in one turn if
Gotcha.
combat was going on. Okay, so luckily, Julian, Yalara, and Gore were successful on the stealth checks. Ander and Warland maybe being a little overconfident since he's already just walked right up here, were not. And so this group of kobolds hears you all, or hears a sound, and turns and looks up towards the area. They don't see you, but they're
They spot
alerted.
us, or do they just hear the sound?
They don't see you yet. You're both relatively hidden behind that tree and behind the other root thing, but they did hear a sound from both of you, and so they're on alert and kind of have weapons at the ready. And Yalara, Gore, and Julian can see somewhat as they were sneaking around that the humans are all they're all wearing their gray robes now. They've all changed over their armor, and all of their weapons are kind of piled up against this rock. Like they're not alerted to anything at this point. So everybody go ahead and roll initiative.
don't forget to roll for Julianne.
Ah, yes. Why will this not
Oh, slow.
take?
I think it was lagging.
Ah, okay.
You're about ready to get a whole bunch of initiative rolls from me.
Calm down.
Calm your mouse finger, bro.
Don't jump the gun.
All right, is everybody in?
Yes.
All right. Julianne gets to go first. So let's see, how far away is she? About 40 feet. Does anybody have the range of a javelin on hand?
Oh, but I can find it.
30
30.
or 120.
120 with disadvantage. All right.
Yep.
She's going to go ahead and try to pick off this kobold.
Where is Julianne?
She's right here over by this kind of fallen log.
Oh, that's right.
Behind a bush. Why is my... Oh, because I still got the thing. Okay, going for this guy right here. Kobold sheet out. That's 12. All right, she misses. Orlin.
I'm going to try to throw my dart at this one here. Warland basically peeks out of the bush here and slings a dart down at this guy right here.
Okay. Do you have advantage if it's a surprise round, or does?
Yes, if you're given a surprise, since they don't really know where we're at technically.
Well, no, I mean, doesn't the rogue specifically? Don't you get, if you haven't been seen yet, or you're technically hidden? Don't you have advantage?
Yes.
Because they haven't seen you yet, so we'll go ahead and give that attack advantage. And Julianne actually got disadvantage, so it just evened out. So you do hit for 12 total?
Damage. Mm-hmm.
All right. So one of the kobolds just kind of gets darted through the face and immediately drops. And now the
And then
rest of them... Go
For
ahead.
my bonus action, I'm going to try to hide again in the trees.
Okay. And you are successful. So they see this guy drop and they're all like... Well, I guess all this kind of happens simultaneously. All right, Ander.
A dagger whips out from the trees and a kobold falls to the ground. And they are perplexed because they don't know what's going on.
Ander will attempt to shoot at this one right here
Absolutely.
for a 21 versus AC
That's a hit.
and 4 piercing damage. And can I use my movement to do what Warland did and try to hide again? Or is that-
No, hide
no?
is an
That's
action.
a
Okay.
full action.
All right. So then I'm just like standing there.
You can move, but you won't be able to hide. You'll be clinking around.
All right. Then I would like to clink up to the edge right about here. And that's about it.
Okay.
You can start reloading your crossbow.
So a crossbow.
Yeah, and reloading.
Crossbow.
Or does that take an entire
bolt.
movement?
I'm not sure what the reload on a crossbow is.
It's just a time, but I mean, you have to reload it.
Well, I will be reloading since I am 15 feet higher. My feet are 15 feet higher than their feet, so I imagine it would take some time for them to get within striking distance, so I'm going to reload my crossbow now.
All right. A bolt whips out from the tangled mass of roots on this kind of dead tree and strikes one of the kobolds right in the chest, but he's still on his feet. Gore.
Can I tell whether the gray cloaked figures have seen any of this or heard any of this, or gonna react to it at all?
From where you are right now, I mean, when you came around the side of the outcrop, you could see that they were just eating, but from where you are right now, you probably can't see down into there. But you haven't heard them, yell or anything yet. there's no obvious sign that they do know what's going on.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, from where you're at, because it kind of ramps up, so you might be able to see this guy. And he does look like he's still eating. He's got like a little clay bowl, and he's kind of slurping out of it.
That stupid orc. We should have held our fire.
Yeah, that's what you get when your player's not here.
Damn you, Alex.
Okay, so I'm gonna move along the path here.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna go put my son in bed real quick.
I gotta bring my lucky kitty. Shit's going down.
And I mean, you
Kitty, you
can,
gotta help.
just for future reference, you can cross those embankments and stuff. They're just difficult terrain, so it's double move.
Oh, I thought it was 15 feet. I mean, I would have thought that, like, I was gonna, like, skid down them with
Yeah,
my
it's-
mace in
it's-
hand, ready
yeah.
to, like, bash some skulls in.
your channel.
Yeah, it's an embankment, not necessarily a cliff. So those 5 feet, I mean, you could scurry down it. It's just difficult terrain. There's no fall or anything.
Okay.
From my point, do I have line of sight, or rather, do the gray cloak figures have line of sight on me?
Yeah, they would. It's like these pebbles right here. Like this would only be 2 or 3, maybe 5 feet high. And then it goes up to, like 10 feet and then up to 15 feet. It's a slope.
Okay.
Relatively steep slope, but nonetheless. So you can target any of them at this point.
Okay, I'm gonna throw a javelin.
Unless you want to try and actively hide behind that boulder you're next to, then you could do that and they wouldn't. Alright, which one are you going for?
I'm gonna attack.
Which enemy? Okay.
It's at disadvantage.
It is because the range?
Yeah.
Okay. He doesn't see you though, so it would technically be a surprise round for you, giving you advantage, so that just cancels out. So we'll just take your first number, which is 16. Either one would have hit though. Alright, for 5. Alright, the javelin flies through the air, and he's kind of eating his soup next to the fire, and javelin comes through his soup bowl and like skewers him through the side of the cheek. I don't know why I always want javelins to go through the sides of people's cheeks. You did that to a dragon dog last time. Alright, he is severely injured. Yalara, you see your companions spring into action. What do you do? I lost the end of your sentence there.
Was it this one that you just hit, Gore?
No, he actually went for one of the humans. He hit this guy right here. You pushed it. I think you're still on push to talk.
Well, I guess I have a decision to make. Do we go ahead and take out this guy before he starts freaking out and get these all riled up? Or keep working on the kobolds? I'm going to... If I come up to the, edge here, Can I still... Is there anything in my way as far as aiming, shooting?
No, you can just shoot down. You can shoot down upon them.
Okay, I'm gonna end the misery of that one guy with the... Ooh, or maybe we should let him stay alive.
I mean, it seems like it'd probably be hard to keep one person... Pick out one person to keep alive. Just whoever the last man standing is probably the best person to leave.
I'm gonna take that guy out. I'm gonna help.
Alright, go ahead and roll. I can't hear you.
I'm gonna shoot him with the short bow.
Okay.
Oh no.
Sadly, the arrow flies wide. How much movement did you use to get there? 5, 10, 15, 20. So you could still move 20 feet, or you could stay there if you wanted to.
I will stay.
Okay. So, out of the woods, or out from above them, kobolds start hearing these things fly down upon them. One of them drops dead. One of them gets severely injured. And so they will all... While they're in sunlight, they all get disadvantage on attack rolls. And they will... Let's see, the only person they can see right now is Ander. I guess some of them probably heard Gore throw that. Well, I don't know. I don't know if that would make too much sense. Ander's the most likely target right now, so we're gonna...
Go for it.
Let's see how far away. 35 feet. They have a sling. 30 feet. That guy's gonna be a disadvantage already. Alright, so he's gonna move up. This guy moves up to here. And there, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 attacks at disadvantage, slings. So just a hail of rocks comes up from this kobold group towards Ander.
All right. Yeah, but what were they trying to hit? What was the attack roll?
I'm doing them right now.
Okay.
First one got a 1. I wish I
Negative.
could. Yeah, I wish I could. Next one got a 4.
Nope.
Next one got a 16.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. That one got a 9.
Then no.
I'm trying to... I don't have my macro set up to do advantage or disadvantage on the D20, which is dumb. Okay, so the next one gets a 3. That's 4 of them.
No.
3 more. Next one gets a 9. Next one gets a 4.
Nope.
Last one gets a 14.
No.
All right, so...
My shield remains firmly in place, and all I'm hearing is clink, 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 clink.
So with that, and the kobolds going, something is upon us! All of the humans drop their soup and move to pick up their weapons, which are over in this general vicinity. And so we will add a turn for them. Or actually, they'll just go on the kobolds next turn as well. Alright, so... Julianne, having thrown her spear, and on the character sheet it only says she has 1, so... She's going to move to start hacking people with the butcher knife. So, 5, 10, 15. These are all difficult terrain, so she's gonna go 5 feet, and then 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
Wait, wasn't that a surprise round?
Yeah, you all got surprise. Well, no. It was a surprise round on the humans, but the kobolds heard Warlin and Ander.
Ah, okay.
So you guys got surprise on the humans, but not the kobolds. Everybody basically on the left side got surprise, and everybody on the right side didn't. But it was all one round since the kobolds rolled last anyways. And now the humans are entering the turn order. So, Warlin. Just in time.
My
All
gosh,
right.
Corey, we've been waiting forever for you.
I told you guys that I had to go put my son to bed real quick.
It was actually perfect timing. I said Warlin, and I said, oh, he's gone. And then you immediately sat down. It just now came up to your turn.
All right. I figured you guys would take a potty break or something.
We might hear in a minute.
Sorry,
We're
no.
coming up on an hour of recording.
So what happened? Why are you in the bed, Gore?
Julian only had one spear to throw, so she ran down the hill, and that's difficult terrain, so that's as far as she could get.
Doesn't sliding down the hill improve your speed?
Maybe if you want to just literally like tumble down it with no care to anything. But
He wants to slide down it athletic-like. That's what you should have said. A controlled fall.
It's just
Anyways.
general difficult terrain, so it was just double movement speed.
I'm gonna go ahead and throw my dagger at this guy right here.
Okay.
My dart, excuse me.
Oh, and all of the kobolds used their slings to hit Ander since he's the only one that they knew existed. But they all got disadvantage, and all of them missed.
Oops.
All right.
Yes, it might come again.
23.
Yeah, to disregard the second one. For some reason, it's
Right.
lagging.
23 for 4, and what's your sneak?
It's coming.
2. So that's 6. So it was this guy right here. That guy right there. Okay. So he gets another dagger to the face and just immediately drops.
And then Warlin is going to, again, try to stay hidden within the bush.
All right. Ander, you've just had a handful of pea gravel thrown at your shield and all bounced off.
Yes, so at this point, Anders going to fire again at the same kobold.
Okay. Oh, I
Right.
guess that hide check is not going to succeed unless you had advantage for some reason. Okay.
I don't know,
Being
does
that-
my stealthy little self have advantage?
No.
Well, seeing how that attack most likely failed,
It did.
he is going to stay right where he's at and cantrips cast an actual action.
Yes, unless they say bonus action.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's gonna be pretty much it.
All right, so
I'm gonna hide behind my shield some more,
okay. So
learning lessons from the previous battlefields of not rushing in.
crossbow bolt goes whizzing by that kobold. Gore. You skewered one of the humans, and they ran over to the rock to get their equipment, and they're kind of still fumbling with it and trying to pick up their swords and whatnot.
I'm gonna heave another javelin over there. Same guy.
Okay.
I think it was that one.
It's probably still at disadvantage.
Oh, yes.
That is going to be a hit. For 9. So having his cheek completely basically torn off by the first one, the next one goes right through his forehead. And he falls lifeless to the dirt floor. Ilara. Oh, any movement or anything, Gore?
Oh, question. If I go up here and, like, go prone, will I have cover from anybody?
You will have, if you're prone up there, you will have, you'd probably have, yeah, that's like 3/4 cover for sure from everybody, and possibly, yeah, probably not full cover from anybody. Yeah, 3/4 cover for sure.
Okay, another question. Can I go prone on this turn if I have to go over difficult terrain?
Dropping prone doesn't cost any movement. Standing up does cost double movement. But, so if you can get to the spot you want to get to, then you can drop prone when you get there.
Okay, I'm gonna move there. And then go prone.
Okay. It's gonna take, yeah. I remember in 3.5 it took your whole movement to stand up from prone, and I feel like it doesn't. I think it's just costs...
I think it's half movement.
Half your movement? I didn't set my little handy dandy DM screen up this time because I was ill prepared, so I don't have all my little rules since I haven't memorized them all. But yeah, for now we'll just say it takes half your movement. Yulara.
Hoping to shake off whatever made me miss a second ago, and
I can't hear you.
I said, and get this guy.
User left your channel.
That's another miss. Yeah, something's got under your skin, Yulara. Maybe learning that you could shapeshift has really rocked your worldview. All right.
Just a heads up, Brian.
Yes.
It is half your movement.
Okay.
To get up.
Good.
It's half your movement to get up?
To stand up from prone. It used to cost
all
your
whole movement.
Yeah, with 4th edition, 3, 5, and 4th, it was your whole. They switch it to half. As far as I remember, at least, I didn't play too much 4th. All right, so the humans have gathered their weapons and things now, and they are going to all head towards Julian, who's on the ground.
That's Julian.
Yep.
That's right.
And take some swings. See if they get disadvantage for anything. 3. And Julian's armor class is... So that's 2 hits. 11. Oh, I didn't level up Julianne either.
I wouldn't do that.
Well, yeah, I guess not. I want to give her the hit dice at least, but... Alright, Julian gets hacked a bit by these humans. She's looking not too great. Because she thought Gore was going to probably charge in for the melee. Then the rest of these kobolds, let's see, these three will pelt Ander with rocks again. With disadvantage, the first one gets 12.
Negative.
Second one gets a 16.
Yes, that hits.
Third one gets a 2. Okay, so one hit for 1d4 plus 2. For 6. And the other two.
That was a good hit.
Yeah, he did max. Yeah, that was max damage for a rock for his sling. The other two will go for Warlin. Keep forgetting what they get for a hit.
Can they get disadvantage since I'm like at 3/4 cover?
They already get disadvantage because they're in sunlight.
Okay. I'll take it.
6
He's a
and a
small
10.
target
Oh, no,
anyway.
wait, I'm sorry. 10 for the first one.
So remember, 10's the base.
Right. I just call them out anyways. And
They think they know where Warren's
13.
at, but they do not. They were
13
actually
for the
throwing
second
the
one.
rocks.
13 does not
Next to
hit.
where I was at.
A 13 does not hit.
No.
Okay. So, all misses, except for one rock clocks Ander in the shoulder. Alright. Julianne, seeing that she's kind of in trouble, will, I know he's got more javelins than that, but she's just going to disengage. Right up next to her compatriots. All right, Warlin.
I'm gonna throw a dagger at this guy right here. A dart.
All right, that's a crit. So max damage plus a roll. I mean, he's dead anyways, so.
Oh, it almost feels like it's a waste, doesn't it?
Yeah, the 5 alone will kill him. So the dagger just spews out of the bush and completely goes through this guy's neck without him even moving.
And then I will try to hide again.
And you'll just meld back into the bush. No one is any the wiser. Ander.
Ander is going to slide down. So that would be a total of 5, 10, 15, 25. And forgetting all past everything he was taught, he is going to take and smack him with the mace.
All right. Smack away.
For an 18 to
That's-
hit and 3 damage.
And he was already slightly injured from your first crossbow bolt. And you just completely crush his skull and his teeth go flying out of the sides of his mouth as he falls down dead.
I'm gonna yell, only 4 more that Bahamut needs to strike justice upon.
Yeah, it's 4 kobolds and 3 humans left. Gore.
Alright, I see Ander slide down into the pit. I'm like, that fool cleric, he's gonna get himself killed. And then I take a running leap off the ledge where I am onto the middle dude here.
Oh, you want to do like a plunging attack?
Yeah, with my pike.
Okay, go ahead and make an athletics check. And if you make the athletics check, I'll give you advantage on the attack. Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and attack him with advantage. You just pike, falling down upon him, death from above. Crit. So, again, just completely skewered him through the top of his head and out through his crotch, pinning him to the ground. That's exactly what it sounds like. A screaming and horrible death for this Cult of the Dragon cultist. So go ahead and move your token down. And
I can just envision that, like, this 6-foot dude just, like, ran and jumped with his pike, like, leaning down between his legs and, like, totally drove his entire force between, like, the pike through the dude's chest and, like, landed on top of him.
oh, absolutely. It was epic.
What can I say? I'm a badass.
All right, Ilara.
All right. I see Gore go in there and do his thing, and I think, okay, well, time to give up the bow and follow suit. So I want to do my shillelagh cantrip on my quarterstaff and go.
And go what?
Go beat up this one.
Okay. Do you want to try and jump over the rocks, or do you want to just take your half movement speed and go down there? You have to make a check if you want to jump. I can't hear. I don't know if we set your... Are you still on push to talk?
Which one? Sorry, I forget that I have to listen.
Athletics.
What do I check?
Athletics. Or you could do acrobatics as well, I guess, since you're Dexy.
Aww.
All right. Yeah, you jump and kind of stumble and fall. So since I gave him advantage for the successful check, so I'm not going to give you advantage, but I'm also going to say that you don't totally fall and screw up everything. So you'll still go ahead and get to make your attack. Just do it at disadvantage. You're kind of like stumbling into the guy with your quarterstaff.
Okay. So what do I have to do again for cantrip?
You don't need to do anything.
So
it just lets you, and you don't need to mark a cast or anything. All Shillelagh does is let you turn your quarterstaff damage into a D8. So you should have just so go ahead and make your normal attack.
No, I know.
Okay. All right, you crit. So that is 8.
Disadvantage.
Oh, you're
Wait,
right.
she said
You're
disadvantage.
right. Sorry, no crit. She is at
Just
disadvantage.
kidding.
Thank you for reminding me. That is still a hit.
Sorry.
We're not excited anymore.
Well, you still hit him. It just did. Oh, we said that your quarterstaff was a quarterstaff, but we left it from when you had a dagger. That's why it says piercing damage. We'll need to change that. But you still. But you kind of stumble into him and like your staff, and you're kind of trying to hit him with it and halfway hold yourself up with it, and you kind of like fall into him and bonk him over the head with it, but he's just kind of, he's got a bloody nose at this point. So go ahead and move your token down in front of the guy that you hit. Oh, sorry, I didn't see it was that guy.
But it was 1d8, not 1d4, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
We 1d4.
We made you a shillelagh macro, I think. Well, we'll look at that afterwards. Go ahead and re-roll your damage with a 1d8. Just roll a 1d8 plus your dex. Or no, I'm sorry, plus your strength modifier.
What?
Right? It's a melee attack. So
I am?
I guess that wasn't meant for us.
Sorry, boot that. Somehow or another, I'm not even pressing anything. I'll get rid of that.
I don't know what's going on.
Sorry, I'm whispering to Mark.
Oh, okay. So Ylar, go ahead and roll a 1d8 plus your strength bonus. Okay, so it's still 2. All right. So, seeing that you all had come down so hard upon them, one of these guys will attack Gore. 20 to hit for 2 damage to Gore.
Okay.
And 4 damage to Ylara.
So do I subtract 4?
Mm-hmm. From your, yeah, you know what to do. Okay. So the kobolds are all going to come and gang up on Ander.
I feel like this may have been a very bad move.
Let's see. They get disadvantage because of sunlight sensitivity, but they get advantage from pack tactics when one of their allies also is threatened, so that's just going to even out, and we'll take the first number. Okay, plus 4 to hit. 16.
Yes.
17.
Yes.
23.
Yes.
All right.
Crap. Well, carp nuggets, Batman.
They're not looking too good.
Is it more than 11?
What?
Yep. 14 damage.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna come get a tissue line.
I am down.
Ander is down.
What?
All right. Seeing the success of Gore, Julian's gonna try and do the same to this guy here in the middle. Find her character sheet. And she makes it. Will attack with advantage with the butcher knife. 22 will hit for 4. All right. Warlin. Anders down and surrounded by 3 kobolds.
Let me go ahead and try to help Ander out here. And throw a dagger. Dart.
All right.
That's a crit, by the way.
Yeah, it's a death. All right, yet another kobold falls to the hidden gnome.
The hidden assassin.
And his blades.
And then again.
Darts.
And successfully. Darts. And his stabby darts. All right, death save.
Very nice.
Death save for Ander.
I think we can expect one of these pretty much every session.
That is a success. All right, Gore.
Alright, I'm going to take a swipe at this guy with my, or rather a stab at that guy with my pipe. But I don't want to kill him, so it's non-lethal.
This guy right here.
Yeah.
Okay. That is a hit. And he is not quite knocked out, but he looks pretty woozy from that. All right, Ylara.
Okay, I'm gonna take another swing at this guy now that my feet are firmly on the ground.
Okay, are you casting Shillelagh again?
Well, it keeps going unless you.
Oh, unless you hit.
drop the
Or unless you
thing, so.
have to read that. Okay, that is a hit. And what is your damage? I can't hear you.
Okay, I rolled it already, so I didn't know.
Why do you think she's yelling? I don't think you're yelling.
She's just getting frustrated because she forgets the push to talk.
Oh,
I get fussy. I get
I'm
fussy
missing
about
that.
the button. Okay, I rolled it up here, so I didn't know if I got to roll it again.
that was 1d4 though. And you
Oh, I
didn't do
have
the
to do
damage
D8.
from the other hit either, did you?
Yeah, I already took.
Yeah.
I already took that.
So this isn't right.
That's not right. Is that your Shillelagh macro button? Okay, what's your strength modifier? Is it 0? One, so
One.
plus 1. And I'll have to look at that Shillelagh and we'll have to make you new macro. Okay, so you hit him for 7. And your quarterstaff kind of glows with a green energy as you whack him across the face. He falls deader than a doornail.
Yeah.
All right. This last human is going to attack Gore, who is right in front of him. 20.
Again, 20?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For 2 damage.
Okay.
Okay. Julianne, being the ever-caring caregiver who just wants to cook people dinner, is is going to attempt to... She cannot make it to... Oh, there's one kobold I got lost in the fray. Let's see. She's going to go up here and do a non-lethal strike with the butt of her meat cleaver. Okay, and this guy drops unconscious. Alright, so he kind of gets thunked in the head and falls down. The kobolds, meanwhile, seeing that Ander is no longer a threat, will... Yeah, they can reach you guys. Pop over here. And take swipes with daggers at Gore. 2 of them will. A 6 versus AC, probably not going to hit. And another 6 versus AC, probably not going to hit. One of them also takes a stab at Ylara. Wow, all 6s. So nobody hits there. Warlin.
I'm gonna go help the party out. I'm gonna move over here, running along the edges. Right to here, and then I'm gonna throw my dagger or a dart at this guy.
Okay. Alright. That is a hit. And that is a death. Warlin just exterminating kobolds right and left.
That's right. Is this the tall grass, like the rest of the grass that I've been in?
It's still fairly tall. You can try to hide again. You weren't technically hidden there, but the sneak attack, he was dead before the sneak attack damage even came into play.
Well, I got sneak attack damage because the friendly was there.
Oh, right. All right,
I
you
will
kind
try
of
to hide in the grass.
Yeah, you kind of crouch back down into the grass. Another death save for Ander.
Yay!
Another success. All right, Gore.
I'm gonna take out these kobolds. Well, one of them anyway. This one up here.
That is a miss.
It's a critical fail.
Yeah. They kind of did away with critical fails in 5th edition. Like, you don't like stab yourself in the foot or anything. Although I think there's a table I could roll on. Anyways, Ylara.
Okay, I think I'm going to finish what Gore started with this guy over here. There's 2 of them?
Yeah.
Ooh, maybe I better get this one.
That would probably be wise.
I'm going to get him.
Yep, that's a hit.
Oh, sorry, I forgot not to.
It's okay.
What is it
1d8
again,
plus
the D8?
1. I'm not sure if that's exactly right. I think with Shillelagh you can add some other stat to it, but... Alright. Yalara starting to slay some kobolds of her own 2 in a row. Alright, there's one left. And he is going to squeal and run away. But interestingly
How
enough...
are you guys getting 2 attacks? Do I know? I mean, is that part of your class at 2nd level, or...?
Everybody's only getting 1 attack.
Oh, I'm sorry. I must have missed something. Sorry, I misheard.
Oh, I said 2 in a row. She killed 1 on her previous turn, too.
Right, but I mean, I thought there was either Julianne or Gore who attacked twice earlier,
Definitely didn't.
I don't think so.
Okay.
So this guy's going to
Then
run...
I am smoking something I don't know that I'm smoking.
Seeing that everyone is falling like flies around him, he's going to scramble over the dead bodies. But he's so freaked out, he tries to dart in between Gore and Yalara to run southward down the path, meaning both of you get an attack of opportunity on him. So go ahead and roll an attack roll, each of you. Okay, well, he's dead. Gore, he starts to run, and Gore just kind of like holds his pike out, and the kobold just runs like up halfway up it through his chest, using his own momentum to kill himself inadvertently. All right, you've got multiple slain kobolds all over the floor of this little depression. Is kind of depressing. It's littered with kobold bodies, and there's 1 unconscious cultist.
And don't forget Ander.
And an unconscious Ander. That's true. So...
Well, should we tie up or bind this guy in case he wakes up?
Well, Ander's still got to make another...
I mean Ander.
Ander's still got to make another death saving throw unless somebody can get to him on this turn. And let's see, Julian can only go that far because I think to stabilize somebody it takes an action, so I don't think I can dash and do that.
It does take an action.
I could maybe make it. This right here is double movement, right?
Yeah, so that would be 10 feet, 15,
Or to
20,
this square, right?
25, 30. Yeah, you can't. I don't think you can get to him.
I can move 50 in a dash and a bonus, in a move and a bonus.
Oh, you can
And still have an
dash as a
action.
bonus action with
Yep.
that class feature, right?
Mm-hmm.
I got
So I
you.
can move 20, so I guess, or 50 total.
Yeah, you can reach him.
All right, Warland, seeing that the action is done and over with, jumps down in a controlled slide, like feet first down these rocks, I guess, if you want to, say that.
Yeah.
And
He's
runs up to
maneuvering down.
the paladin.
All right, cleric, make.
Warland bends over and reaches down into his Bahamut's necklace, and he grabs it. And he puts one hand on the other on Ander, and reaches down and says, "If you're listening now, one of your savior or one of your disciples needs your help."
All right, go ahead and make a medicine check with advantage, and you feel the amulet kind of glow or kind of get slightly warm in your hand.
Medicine. Is it health or wait? I don't see medicine.
I think there's a medicine check, a skill. All right, 20. Ander is stable, but still unconscious. As we learned last game, that you don't get 1 hit point back when somebody stabilizes you. That's only when you succeed your death saving throws. Then you get a hit point back. All right. With that, we will question the guy after a short break. So everybody take 10, and we will reconvene. All right, so we have slain what looks like a group of stragglers that had fallen behind the main force.
So how do I wake up?
I don't know. You're stabilized right now. You're unconscious. You got an unconscious Ander and an unconscious cultist. What do you do?
Well, I think we probably need to tend to Ander, but we also probably want to tie up this other dude in case he wakes up. What can we do to help Ander?
Julianne will go over to Ander, and you can hear kind of her backpack is clinking around, and she will pull out a health potion and administer it.
And it gives me 2d4 plus 2.
Yeah. All right. So Anders up and about. And
so I'm going to drag that guy over this rock here and sort of sit him up against it.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna slap him in the face.
Okay. Oh! I thought I was dead. What? Who are you?
Where are they?
Who are you looking for?
We're looking for you.
Well, I'm right here leaned up against this rock.
The raiders. Where are the raiders? Where's the cult going next?
I don't know where they're going next. They're going back to camp as far as I know. I just joined up in Berduzk.
And where is camp?
Like I said, I just joined up in Berduzk 2 days ago. I've never actually been to their camp. I know it was supposed to be to the south of Greenest. We got separated and left behind, and are trying to catch up to the rest of the main force that are probably back at camp by now. It should be about another 5 miles south of here.
How many people are there?
I couldn't say the complete number of the force. There's probably about a total of 200. At least at this camp.
Did you happen to notice someone named... Crap, what was his name?
I don't think you guys have heard any names yet. And if you did, then I screwed up.
Leosin Erlenthar?
No, I've never heard that name before. You can see that he's clearly quite scared and very different from, like, it seems right that he would have just joined because he's not nearly as devout and, spitting vitriol at you all the same way that the other ones you've captured have been. And he's not wearing a purple armband. None of these guys were.
Have you seen the man with a harp?
It's like some kind of bard. We don't have any bards in the cult.
I think he would be a prisoner, and you would know him by the harp emblem that he wears around his neck.
I know that we did take some prisoners, but I didn't see any of them. They were taken by they were taken by one of my masters. I wasn't a part of that. They don't tell me much. I do know that they had some prisoners, though.
There's about 200 of them due south, 5 miles, you mentioned.
Right.
How can we verify this claim of yours?
Go there and see for yourself. I don't know. I've never, like I said, I've never been there. That's what they told me. If we got separated, we were to head south. And after I came to amid the rubble, I joined up with the rest of these that you've killed, obviously. And we followed the obvious path that they had taken here. There may be a handful of them somewhere between here and the camp, as it is our standard practice to leave a rear guard in case there are any people following the main group, but that was not our purpose. We're just caught behind. Are you going to let me live?
I will pray to Bahamut to figure out what the justice is that should be dispensed upon you. And Ander will turn around, walk.
Bahamut knows nothing. You can tell that when you mention Bahamut, he kind of gets a little pissy, like, Puh.
What makes you say that?
Bahamut is weak. Doesn't realize that dragons are superior beings that should rule.
At which point, even as far away as I am, Bahamut is a platinum dragon. You know nothing of what dragons are.
Oh, I know what dragons are. The metallic dragons are weak. They don't assert the dominance that is rightfully theirs, and we seek to change that.
They don't need to. There's your downfall.
He just kind of sulks. It's like, bleh.
And at which point, I will pray to Bahamut to help me in better understanding of the guidance that he wants to show his true form of justice. The justice that should be shown this cultist wannabe.
As Warland sits back and observing this all, he goes, "Do we really need to kill this guy? I mean, he's pretty much out of the fight. I say we take his gear, take his food, cut his feet up a little bit, take his shoes, and blindfold him and turn him a couple times and let him go off in his own direction. He's not going to make any travel anywhere fast, and we'll be gone before he comes back."
I agree, but let's see if we can get him to tell us. He might know a few things. So then I'm going to turn back to him. So, is this the reason that you joined this group? Because of their vision regarding the more powerful dragons?
Yes.
And why is that important to you? Like, what does that mean?
Well, they convinced me that when... I don't know really what their plans are, but they convinced me that if I was a faithful servant, whenever they came to fruition, I would have a share in the new world that's ruled by dragons.
And who... Right. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go for it.
You mentioned your master earlier. Is there only one master you serve?
He kind of starts getting tight-lipped and glares at you. Make either a persuasion or a intimidation check. Probably a persuasion check. You're not really trying to threaten him. He says, if I have no promise that you're going to let me live, I'll say no more. And just kind of looks down.
Look, friend, I'm pretty sure
Andrew
you're
will
going
walk-
to live. I mean, he's a paladin, for crying out loud. He's not going to hurt you.
Look at the rest of...
I
You've
am
slain
no
every
paladin.
last one of my cult that I was with. I don't believe you'll let me live for a second.
I am no paladin, but Bahamut does recognize when mercy needs to be dispensed. Andrew will look around to everybody and says, this one shall live. But I do believe we need to follow Warland's advice and strip this one of all belongings to make sure that nothing that this one can do will harm us in our further adventures. That is the power of a platinum dragon. He saved your life.
So he's going to spare my life, but you're going to take my robe and you're going to take everything that would allow me to get back into my camp and rejoin my cult. Leave me with nothing.
Who said your cult was a just and worthy cause? It is, after all, as you just so bluntly put it, a cult.
Yes, we worship. But it holds power to be worthy, not justice. Power is the only justice.
And yet, here I am, telling my friends to let you go. Who here really holds the power, then? It does not appear that your dragon gods seem to be willing to come to your aid.
Well,
And yet mine has bestowed upon me the power to heal, the power to bless one another in the righteous and fervor that is justice this world so desperately needs. And as a display, I will then heal myself and Julianne. Let's see, 2 times 5, 5 times 2 is 10. 5 hit points each, so you can. It's enough to make all of our cuts start to mend and everything.
I'll be right back, guys. I gotta go dig an earring out of my daughter's ear. That apparently snapped in half in her ear.
no.
I'll
Okay.
be right back.
So Julianne recovers 5 hit points as well.
Yeah, I got that. He just kind of scoffs and looks down. He's not really willing to argue with you all too much more. Until you actually let him go, he's pretty clear that he's not. At least his attitude right now is that he thinks you're going to kill him.
Ander will ask Warland to use one of his daggers to cut, or anybody who has a sharpened weapon or is willing to actually just untie the knot.
Oh, he's not tied up. He's just sitting there.
Well,
Gore just threw him against the rock.
Ander says, get up. Move around. But know this. Your dragon was turned away by a simple man-made ballista.
He laughs. He says that. That was a weak dragon. Yes, I will give you that. One of the laziest and most good-for-nothing dragons I've ever seen. I don't know why Rezmir was dealing with him.
Wait. What is it? Who is this Rezmir?
He kind of is like, Rezmir? I didn't say Rezmir. And since I don't think that you guys ever said you disarmed him, you just threw him against the rock. He will make an attack.
He didn't drop his weapon when he fell unconscious.
Oh yeah, he did. Good call.
I mean, he can still attack with his fists.
Yeah, no. He just looks really, as soon as he realized he said Resmir, he's gonna bolt since he's not tied down.
Anders gonna put up his mace like right up in his face to either A, stop him, or B, to try to trip him up.
Okay. Go ahead and, well, do you want to stop him or do you want to try and trip him up? That's going to determine whether it's a strength or a dex check.
Stop him.
Okay, so go ahead and make a strength check against his dex check.
Crap.
Oh, does that adds your strength to it, right? The unskilled.
Yeah, I believe so. I rolled it under unskilled strength check.
Okay. Yeah, he sees your mace pop out and kind of dashes forward. Warlin and Yalara, you're both right next to him. You could get an action, and in fact, he will probably. Well, you're not in combat, so he's not going to provoke attacks of opportunity, but you could attempt to be quick enough to stop him.
I'm also going to yell out, Gore, stop him!
Okay, I'll stop him.
Okay.
You gonna run up and spear him as he tries to run away? Just run up and tackle him from the waist down.
So you do, as he kind of passes through this square, your pike does have reach. You could do that, but since he acted pretty quickly, I don't know if you could run up and tackle him. I mean, you could try make an athletics check if you wanted to tackle. What do you actually want to do to stop him?
Hamstring? No. Yeah, I'll tackle him.
I'm not even gonna roll. Yeah, you totally clobber him to the ground. He makes it about 15 feet before you just kind of thud, take him down.
Presumably I land on top, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I get real close up in his face and I say, "What do you know of Resmir?"
And he says, I've said too much. Are you trying to intimidate him?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
If he doesn't, I darn sure will. He rolled it. It's a 9.
Oh, yeah. He doesn't say anything. He just says, I've said too much.
Anders gonna walk up and says, "You see our friend over there, a female half-orc? Her specialty is cooking. I've always wondered what human flesh tastes like, since so many creatures seem to enjoy it. I wonder what she might want us to do in this situation, if you don't tell us about Resmir."
Okay, roll your intimidation.
And that's going to be definitely an intimidation check.
Wait. Oh, no.
Okay, his eyes get wide and he's like, "Oh, don't feast on my flesh." It looks like he's got a phobia of that. He kind of starts shaking and maybe pees on Gore a little bit. He's pretty intimidated. He looks at you and says, "I thought you said your god was merciful. Bahamut sure seems like a flip-flopper."
Hey, I let you go. I can't speak for Julienne. Julienne is not a follower of Bahamut. As much as I try to convert her. However, you do still seem to have information that we require.
Yeah, he's shaking. He says, "All I know is that Resmir is the leader of this branch of the cult.
This branch?
She is the top-ranking cult member in this in this region, and she is a worm speaker. I do not know what that means. I have never seen her. I'm told she's a large black half dragon. She's a half black dragon.
Would I happen to know, since I'm a dragon scholar from my background?
You know a lot about dragons, but you don't necessarily know about this specific cult, and you've never heard the word worm speaker before.
Okay.
So I put my kids to bed, and now I'm totally raiding the Easter cookie stash.
Sweet.
I've done that too. Kids are awesome.
So yeah, he tells you what he knows about Rezmir, which is not much, just that she's the main leader of this part. She's a half black dragon, and she's a worm speaker.
See that? See what you're all missing out at? You guys don't have cool kids to steal their goodies.
I think Mark does.
Well, that's what he just showed a picture of the kid.
My parents gave me a bunch of... I'm still the kid, apparently, to my parents. They gave me a bunch of candy. So, what are you going to do with this guy?
What is this worm speaker that you mentioned? What is a worm speaker?
I don't know. I've just heard the word. I've heard her called worm speaker. Like I said, I've only been in the cult about 4 days.
All right. For your safety, because Julian's looking a mite bit hungry. Tell me, what drew you into this cult? Where did you come from beforehand?
Forget that. Where is Rezmir? Where is he now?
She is, I don't know. I've never seen her. I just know that that's the leader of this branch, but she has other officers and other people do her bidding, I assume. I really have just heard the name.
So you joined a cult, and you don't really know anything about this cult. What drew you here?
I was told...
What was it?
I was told that soon dragons would take over the land, and by being in the cult, I would be spared from the wrath that the rest of the world would suffer. I was told this by a very large...
Kobolds?
The kobolds are nothing. They will do whatever. They serve the dragons already.
Exactly. Usually as their meals. Do you think that by teaming up with a bunch of what amounts to be food,
you would
somehow
know that dragons don't eat kobolds in general.
I know, I'm lying.
Okay.
Let me finish my statement.
Okay.
You would know that by joining up with a bunch of food, that somehow this makes it okay and you're going to survive this? And yes, that is a bluff, because I am lying through my teeth.
Okay. So go ahead and make a bluff check versus his insight.
I would, except I don't see bluff. Deception.
Deception, sorry.
On the other hand.
He says, I thought the kobolds were taken care of by the dragons for their service. You say that they are bred for food?
Kobolds are here merely to serve a dragon in all its needs, including food. And here we found you with no less than 6. Or would a dragon perhaps say breakfast full of kobolds?
Well,
what could have possibly driven you to make such a decision? What was so bad about your life before this that brought you to this decision?
I just simply do not want to die, and the one who convinced me that if I served this dragon cult that I would live was much more convincing than you and showed me much greater signs of power than you have.
Anybody can show signs of power. I can take my mace and bash it across your face and show you that I'm more powerful than you. But that doesn't make you a follower of Bahamut.
He just remained silent.
I think that you should return to whichever city that you have come from. Really consider the life choices that you have made. And you need to follow something other than that, because there is more to this world than just some dragons. As you can see, that may have been a weak dragon that we turned away, but that was also a small town with small defenses. What happens when a powerful dragon meets a powerful city with powerful defenses?
You can see that his wheels are kind of turning, and he says, "Well, after you strip me of my robe, I won't be able to get back into the camp anyways. I will take your advice, and I will reconsider the decision that I've made. Make an insight check." Yeah, he's totally lying.
There's my crit.
He's totally lying. He plans on going back and rejoining the Dragon Cult, and you really haven't convinced him that much. He was just trying to get out of here.
You dare lie to me? You dare lie to a cleric of Bahamut?
He just closes his eyes and looks away and says, he just closes his eyes and looks away and says, "Hail Tiamat."
Gore, hold him down while I confer. I feel like something more needs to be proven to this individual. And I'm going to move away silently and in prayer. In prayer for this individual, that they may find better answers than what they've been told. But I'm not seeking anything from Bahamut. I'm just praying for this individual.
Okay.
And I'm going to leave
They
it up
all
to the
walk
group
away.
what they do.
Okay.
I whisper over to Yalara. I say, we ought to just take his stuff, cut his feet, take his boots, tie him up, and let him go while they're over there praying. That way he doesn't think of anything stupid like killing this guy.
Okay, Gore's still on top of him.
That's right.
Do you think we've heard everything we need to hear, Worrell?
I'm backing over to Julian, making sure the guy sees me.
Yeah, Julian's over there, like, looking at him, sharpening her butcher knife.
All right, so I'm going to ask the guy...
I feel like Julian would also probably be butchering some of the kobolds laying around the ground.
Probably. Julian picks up a kobold and goes over to the cooking fire that the humans were using. Is like, "I'm gonna make you all a nice kobold stew," and starts chopping up pieces of kobold into the cooking pot.
All right, so I'm going to ask the guy, who leads the camp?
Well, like I said, I've heard the name Resmir, and I know that she's the leader of this branch of the cult. There are two other leaders that I have seen leading us and giving directions at the keep when we were about to storm the keep. A woman in purple and a half blue dragon, male. I do not know their names and have never met them, but they seem to be in charge. And you can go ahead and, well, I'm not gonna make you make an insight check. You can tell that he's telling the truth. Like the cult seems, from his point of view, seems pretty disorganized, and he doesn't even know half the names of some of their leaders. He only knows the main leader. But you think he's telling the truth.
So Resmir is there.
She may be. I didn't see her at the raid. I didn't see any half-black dragons at the raid on Greenest. She has many affairs to attend to, I'd assume.
I have no more use for you. Alright, so I get up off the guy and just... Actually, I'm going to walk over to these bodies here and check them out. Actually take a couple of the gray cloaks.
Yeah, each body has a gray cloak with a 5-pointed star on the back. You don't find... There's a couple backpacks laying around. You don't find any of the purple armbands, and you don't find too much loot. You actually... There's one small sack with 33 silver. And a couple of pewter candlesticks that you don't know how much are worth, but you could tell from before watching the raiders that they were pretty much just instructed to take anything shiny or that looked like it could be of value. So 33 silver and 2 pewter candlesticks. All right, so you get up off of this guy, and he kind of lays there for a minute. And since you all have kind of, like, what is everybody else doing? Oh, did you say you were gonna tie him up and take his stuff and cut his feet or something?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you go ahead and do that and tie him up, and just kind of, you want to just leave him here in the hole, or?
Well, if nobody's gonna try stopping me, then I'm gonna blindfold him, and like when I say cut his feet, like I'm gonna take my dagger and literally like cut slits into his feet so that when he walks, it hurts.
Right. Yeah.
He's not going anywhere very fast.
Yeah, he's not gonna run away or go ahead and tell. Okay, so he's tied up here, just kind of off to the side. Or do you want to tie him to a rock or a tree, or you can do whatever you want. But he's tied up and pretty well secured. You find the 33 silver, the pewter candlesticks, 4 gray robes with kind of gold embroidered 5-pointed stars on the back of the robe, and the kobolds all have slings and daggers, and the humans all have scimitars and leather armor. And that's all you find. So that all only really took about a half an hour maybe, so it's probably around 2:30 in the afternoon. So you think probably a couple more hours of walking and you'll get to around where he thought the camp would be. And he also told you that that he does know the practice is to, on retreats, set up a rear guard to watch for any pursuit. And then everything else he told you, So what do you do now?
I'm gonna put on one of the gray cloaks.
Okay. What's everybody else doing?
Well, he mentioned that the camp is to the south, but do we dare go when there's such large numbers?
It seems like there's quite a bit of people. I mean, maybe we need to go and see if it really is 200 people.
I can be a bear.
Or a fox, or a rat, or a squirrel.
I mean, we should try to get in there and see if Leosin is actually in this camp before we risk our lives.
I agree. Let's just go check it out and see what we can see.
Okay.
Ander would definitely not be one to walk into this camp. But he would not don any of those robes. But that being said, that doesn't mean he wouldn't follow the group.
Okay. So we got Gore in one of the robes. While you were questioning that guy, Julian whipped up some kobold stew if anybody wants to eat it. It won't really do anything for you, just maybe save you a ration. And so yeah.
I'm going to tell the rest of the group, don the cloaks. Whoever's left, whoever doesn't get one can act as a prisoner, and we can go right into the camp.
And what if we're discovered in the middle of the camp?
If there's as many people that he says, then it shouldn't be a problem.
What if they don't like orcs or gnomes in their cult and we don't know it and we're walking in on a trap?
You did see, as you were fighting through, they were almost all humans, but there were a smattering of other races. I don't know if you necessarily saw any half-orcs or gnomes, but there were definitely dwarves and elves kind of mixed in, halflings even. But half-orcs and gnomes are somewhat rare. So anyways, that's all.
Well, the half-orc can go as a prisoner.
I just don't like the idea of tying one of our friends up. I mean, what if they take them from us once we get into camp? And then we have to save other people. It's very risky. Whereas I think we have the skills and the capabilities to sneak in a little less protrusive.
Fine. Then I will go alone into the camp. I don't have time for sneaking around.
Yes. Never time for thoughts, but...
All right, Ylara, Ander, what do you hear this kind of conversation between disguise versus stealth going into the camp? What are you weighing in?
I'm all for stealth. I think it would be foolish to just jump down in there and stir something up when maybe we could explore a little bit. Especially, and I mean, I quit to. I don't mean to try to act like I'm awesome, but I can be a rat and go find some stuff out and come back to you. No one will know.
She can literally be a rat.
Or just because I gave you those cards, remember you can turn into anything. You can turn into a squirrel or a, fox or whatever.
Yeah, something tiny, but I don't know. I guess for stealth, I feel like we could do it more because
she can't fly yet. She can't fly at her level. Otherwise, yes, that would be perfect.
We need to find information. However, committing a crime against humanity is still against my better judgment. If we could use Ylara, and I do mean your newfound transmutation abilities, I would prefer that you just sneak in there, get what we need, without us actually having to lie to people, even though they committed atrocities against us.
Wait, what crime?
That does not necessarily mean crime. You mean the crime of eavesdropping and listening into things that do not belong to us? What if somebody monitored you all hours of the day just because they could turn into a rat and hide from your sight? Would you want that? Do you think that would be fair, that anything you say and do in private is completely acceptable? All I'm saying...
I have
All
no
I'm
time
saying-
to discuss moral issues with you.
All I'm saying is, if we have an individual
I
that
see
can
no
go
crime in
in
this.
unseen, it will lessen our risks of facing judgment from those above. So Anders' official position is for that Gilara to transmute into something small and go find out information for us rather than us pulling off a deception.
For Warland? Well, I guess we know where Gore's stands.
Yeah, I'm good with the whole stealth tactics.
Okay. Sounds like we got 3 people who want to do that, and then obviously Gore will do what he wants to do when he wants to do it. So, you guys can wear or take the robes or whatever you want to do. I know that Gore has one. Do any of the rest of you take one of those robes or any of the other items that I previously described?
Ander will not take robes.
I think I will, just in case.
Okay. Go ahead and write that down under your equipment. Anybody that wants to take a robe, write down Dragon Colt robe in your equipment. And you all set off, I assume, back down the southward path.